Hi, I'm Sandi Genovese, and you know what? I have a number of friends who are having grandchildren, and so I have been making baby cards and baby gifts lately, and I thought I would share with you one of the cards that I'm making now for a friend. I haven't put all the information on the inside because I need to still learn his name. They know it's going to be a boy, and I know they have picked a name out, so it's not completed on the inside, but the outside you can see I have just a little baby onesie, and inside the accordion pleats, I have all of the little baby onesies. I know it's going to be a boy, so it's lined here in blue. And on the inside here is where I'm going to put congratulations and have his name. This is if you were going to make it an invitation, let's say, to a baby shower. This is where you'd have all the party information. So you can use it, either or, whatever you happen to be in the need for. In order to start, we want to start with the card itself, this accordion format. So let's start with the dimensions of that, and it needs to fit into my envelope. So my envelope that this is going to go into is a little bit bigger because the accordion pleats are kind of fat, and it's easiest if it's not too snug of a fit. So my envelope for this is 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. Slightly smaller would fit. Once again, just be sure that you check to make sure that you have an envelope size that will work. What I did was I had this cardstock, white cardstock, this 11/17, and I have a whole ream of it that I bought at Staples, and I use it for everything. So my dimensions are based on 6 inches wide and 13 inches long. However, if you only want to work with paper, scrapbook paper that's 12 by 12, you'll get 2 out of a sheet if you make it 6 by 12, and you just need to make the accordion pleats a little more narrow, a little skinnier. Let me give you the dimensions of mine. I came in 4 1/4 inches, and with my ruler, I did a score line, and then 3/4 of an inch and another score line. If you want yours more narrow to accommodate your 12-inch paper, then make it like 1/2 inch. Then I went another 3/4 and a score, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, and what that will leave is 4 1/4. So when you go back, you can see that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 score lines, which result in 3 pleats. So when you accordion fold on the score lines, you will get the card format. And these 3/4 inch pleats are really not necessary. You can have more shallow pleats. I'm going to show you some other themes at the end, and you'll see the pleats are more narrow, and it also works. So if you want to work with 12-inch paper, just make these pleats more skinny than 3/4 inch. Now you need to look at putting the onesies that are going to go inside. So I wanted to start by taking one. Here's one that's already decorated, and then let me show you the steps. This is just pattern paper. It's going to be white on the back because it's not really going to show. So I pick a pattern paper that I liked, and then in this case I had little daisy stickers. I didn't know exactly where those were, so I'm going to go ahead in this instance, and I'm going to use a heart punch to punch out the design. Now when you're trying to put adhesive on some tiny little shape like that, if you haven't seen me do this little tip before, it is so helpful. You want to take a sticky note, and the part where the sticky is, which is at the top of this note, you use that to hold your little shape in place. It's now going to stay tight long enough for me to add my adhesive. And because the sticky note is removable adhesive, it's easy to pull it off and go back and add the design to the front. And then you can see I've just added more detail. I'm going to do this, in fact I'll do this right on the sticky note, because not only will it hold it from moving around on me, but it also means I can go off the edges. So I'm going to add detail on the sleeves, and I'm going to add detail on the neck. And the little places where he'll have legs, the little leg holes that are going to go, this is about right here to about right here. And then the part with the snaps right here. So it's not difficult to go back and add the details that you want for your onesie. Once you have all of those decorated, you're going to place them inside. This is going to go in the front row, and this card is easier to assemble if you start with the back. So I'm going to take and put adhesive on the back of all of the different onesies that I've already embellished. And as I lay this down, I want to make sure that when it closes, it doesn't stick out the side or the top. So I can see that's going to work. I'll put adhesive just on the bottom 3/4 of an inch because I have a 3/4 inch pleat. Same thing, I'm going to set this down, but before I stick it tight, I want to make sure that I clear this side edge. And I need to pull it up so I clear the fold as well on the pleat. So I can see laying down that I've not gone off the edges on the sides or the top. So that gives me the back row. And then you just continue doing the same thing with the next row. The next one I stuck 2 together. So they are going to sit in here like so. Let me see if I can stick them. And then I'll add adhesive to the back of this one. It's so odd how upside down, I really can't tell. I'm going to move these over just a hair, but make sure they don't stick out the side. Ooh, close, but good. And that's going to mean that I want to definitely put one right there. So when I do the front row, I'll add my adhesive, and let's see how these are going to sit. My adhesive is removable, so I'm able to maneuver it around before I let it set up and stick it permanently. So you can position these. Once again, make sure that nothing is going to go outside the edges. So if I lay it down like this, maybe that's a good way for me to see this final row, that this guy's going to go here. Remember, I kind of wanted to cover in that spot, that little hole in the middle row. So I'm going to move this over more like that to sort of cover that area. So now that I have them where I want them, I'm going to just really press on all that adhesive. And look how cool. It's such a wow impact when a card like this is opened, and yet not difficult to make. Now when it comes to the inside back cover, I added blue because I know it's going to be a boy, so I'll just put, you of course would want more adhesive than this, but I would put this, and if I'm going to decorate this or add a message on this part, I would do it first before gluing it down so that if I make any mistakes, I haven't ruined the whole card. Your party information or your congratulations is going to go here, and it can be blue as well or pink. And then to look at the decorating of the front cover, that is cool as well. All you need to do is basically kind of more of the same. So I'm going to take bands of color, and if I start with what would be the top, I have just a section of blue, and then below that I have a green and white dot pattern that's going to go next, and line this up, and then to sort of soften the line between these, I've got some green in there. I'm going to add this pink pattern, which if I start on one end and line up one end, I can cut off any excess once I'm done. So I'm going to turn it over and cut off any extra. Normally I would fold that in because that might make kind of a cool look on the inside as well. But the final embellishment, I just have taken one more of the onesies that I've already decorated, and I'm just have raised it with a little foam adhesive so that if I peel this off and layer this over the top, that quick and easy, you've created a really cool card. Now this is done for a baby theme, but let me show you some other choices. For one of the companies that I'm licensed with, I have made a whole box of these cards. Here is one that's themed with a cupcake on the front. You can guess it's for birthdays, and it's got a whole bunch of birthday cupcakes inside. It says, "Happy birthday, you take the cupcake." Then here is one that says, "Relax and enjoy your day, have a ball." So this was meant to be for friendship, or you could turn it into birthday if you want to. Inside this one, this is friendship. It says, "Our friendship is a beautiful thing." And inside it says, "And I think you're tremendous." And they have all the rows are filled with trees. And then in the final one, I thought I would show you, we're used to seeing it this way, but you can orient them vertically and have your items go into the pleats this way. And when you do them vertically, you can see that they open and close almost like they're flying, like the butterflies are flying for a flyby high. And I also wanted you to see that this same technique works really great even with photos. If you have all your kids' school photos, look at how great it is to put them in the accordion pleats. And these accordion pleats are even fatter, but they don't need to be. As well as having my brother's school photos in here, it's so easy to forget which one is which year that I actually have a little guide at the bottom that says which grade they go to. But it's really pretty cool. But back to the baby. You know, the baby will certainly be too young to appreciate a baby card like this, but his parents may save it for him to enjoy years later.